Hey mama, today we're going to talk about getting your world rocked by morning sickness, which is not fun. It is so hard. I know because I am in the midst of it right now. This is my 5th pregnancy. I'm Jocelyn Hillam and looking forward to sharing with you what I've learned this pregnancy that is helping me to be a little bit more positive and to work through some of these super difficult changes that pregnancy can bring. And technically this is my 6th pregnancy because I did have a miscarriage in there. Just had to clear that up. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life. And I can help you. Thanks for joining. So if you've listened to my last couple episodes, you have heard my weeks 4.5 and week 5. At the time of this recording, I'm a little bit farther ahead in pregnancy, but I am going to go back a little bit. I was so sick during week 5.5 through 8 that I could not even podcast. I couldn't get off the couch. I couldn't leave the toilet. It was some of the most trying weeks of my life, and that is no joke. And that's also hard for me to admit because I've been podcasting about pregnancy and positivity, especially during the sick phase, for like 1.5 years. And then here it comes for me, and it completely rocks my world. Like, completely. So we're going to dive into some of my coping strategies for those few weeks and how I feel that things have gotten better since then because of things I've implemented. I kind of secretly hoped that this pregnancy, the sickness wouldn't be quite so bad, and that the little things I was implementing, like taking my prenatal from morning to night, trying to eat a lot healthier and exercise, I was really hoping that those things would help. Not so much. When it hit, and I was so miserable. It was so hard, and it was so hard for me to stay positive. Everything that I've talked about on this podcast is like everything that has hit me. That month that I got sick, I had so many things I had to cancel because I was just too sick. I couldn't show up. We were part of a homeschooling group that I told them I can't. I was going to teach 2 sourdough classes that people were going to pay to come to my sourdough class, and I was really excited about. I had a church lesson to teach. I was going to organize and be in charge of a date night for our homeschool group. I had a lot of fun things and exciting things for me planned. And then this sickness hit, and I had to cancel all of it. Everything I just listed, it all had to be canceled. So I had that weight on my shoulder. I went to listen to my podcast, and I realized that there were ads on my podcast, and I had been claiming there was no ads on my podcast, and they were disgusting ads. Like, they almost made me even more nauseous than than just my normal nausea, and I was so disgusted with that. I was disgusted with my hair. And one morning while my husband and kids were at church, because I couldn't even go to church, I didn't go to church for a month. I chopped off 8 inches of my hair. And oh my gosh, mega regret that. Still do. But I'm just compacting all of these negative things for you. Well, for me. That happened all at once, but I'm explaining them to you so that you can realize you're not alone in these hard things that all happen at once. I had all of these really hard things happen at once I had to stay on my couch, and sometimes I just had to listen to the seconds tick by. That was all I could do to cope. I'm also letting you know that I'm human, and while I have the positive pregnancy program, which I'm probably going to change the name of and call it something to do with morning sickness, nonetheless, right now it's still the positive pregnancy program, and I was utilizing that, but some days I was just so mad. I was mad about how miserable I was, and it was really hard to get unstuck. So I'm going to tell you the things I did to help me get unstuck. And they're not appealing and they're not attractive, but it's going to help you to cope way better than I did way earlier on. And that is my desire, is to help you to have a better pregnancy, and specifically a better 6 weeks of morning sickness or longer. I know some of you have to go through it longer. I tend to get it around 6 weeks, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. So the first thing I did was I did the feel it to heal it thing, which is not fun, I realized. Especially when you have to do it every day. I am here to admit that I cried every day over my pains. I did. I wept literal tears every single day for those 3 weeks because it was so hard. But you know what? Once I cried and once I got those tears out, I felt better. I did. I felt better, and I felt like things were a little bit more doable. Cry, mama. Just cry. Allow yourself time and moments to just feel that pain. I didn't think I would have to do that every day. That sounded miserable. In fact, a couple of the days it happened more than once because I had a lot of negativity to process and a lot of hard things to deal with all at once. And it was not easy. But once I processed that through just crying it out, I felt better. I felt like I could now try the positive thoughts. Feel it to heal it is so powerful because if you don't, none of these positive thoughts are going to resonate with you. You're not going to feel that any of them are true because you are so stuck in the negative that they just feel ridiculous and they just feel stupid and they just feel like they're non-effective because you have so much negativity in front. They feel unrealistic. They did to me until I used this is one of my main and first tools, is feel the pain to heal it. Feel the pain of being sick and throwing up every day. Feel the pain of having to cancel everything, of completely messing up your hair, of what other things that are going on in your life. Feel that pain during this pregnancy, having to cancel stuff. Maybe you even had to quit your job. Maybe you're falling behind in work and you're really scared. Feel the pain. Oftentimes this is going to cause some great emotion. You may even start crying because it is so heavy and it is so hard. But once you get it out, it's a lot easier to grab onto some of these more positive thoughts, and it's easier to believe them too. I had high ideals in my first couple of episodes of ways that I wanted this pregnancy to go, and I hope after this sickness that they can still have a decent transition. For me, it has been fairly easy to eat healthy because absolutely nothing sounds good. I think I've only had 2 cravings my whole pregnancy. One was like a hamburger and fries. I can't even remember what the other one was, which is sad because it wasn't that long ago. But nothing has sounded good. And in fact, anything with sugar in it has sounded disgusting. And I've actually found out that sugar makes me throw up. So we'll go more into the physical things of what I did next week. This week I just kind of wanted to give you some mental tools to help you get through when it just feels impossible, when you feel completely stuck, completely miserable, completely not yourself, completely like a vegetable laying on the couch. Cry it out. Cry it out, mama. And then after you cry it out, try on some of the positive pregnancy thoughts that you would like to think, that you think would be cool if you could feel in pregnancy. then is when you can start trying the positive stuff. But if you don't get rid of that negativity first, it's going to be really hard. I mentioned in an episode a couple weeks ago that I was trying something with my candle business that I was really excited for and was hoping it would help in pregnancy. And what that was going to be was I was going to use scents that are supposed to help with nausea. And my hope was that if I had these scents in wax melts, it would help the nausea go down. Well, for me, any scent has been overpowering and too much. So that idea and project kind of went out the window because I can't even stand the smell of good scents right now. All the things make me nauseous. So anyway, that was my idea, and I really wanted to update you on it, that I had made these scents and haven't ended up using them because any scent makes me feel bleh. Anyway, that's our tip for today. Next week, I'm going to go into physical things I have done to really help with the nausea, and I actually think it's played a bigger role than I thought. So stay tuned for next week. If you are in the 6 weeks of sickness or thinking about that, or even just keep these in mind for when you have a future pregnancy, because it's important to take care of our minds and our bodies during these difficult times when our bodies are growing, when they're changing. It really is miraculous what our body is doing, but it also is really hard to deal with, especially when it's just so early on, you don't feel the baby move, you just feel miserable. If you're struggling and you want to be specifically led through it, Feel It to Heal It exercise, it's included in my course, which is the Positive Pregnancy Program. And that course, I just need to decide if I'm going to change the name. I'm confusing myself by not knowing what name to call it. Anyway, it's got 42 videos, which is supposed to help through those 6 weeks of sickness, to help you get through. If you have to use the Feel It to Heal It one every day, do it. And then try and add some of these other ones. It takes intentionality. It takes more effort when you're pregnant because it's harder to do these things. But it also is going to be more rewarding when you do these things and when you strive to fill your mind with positivity. I am cheering for you. If that interests you, it is the top link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing with your other pregnant fellow moms, but most of all, thank you for implementing what you learn into your life for more positivity during your pregnancy. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.